Hi everybody, this is Rachel for Cyber Sports Network. I'm standing here with Kevin O'Leary, brand manager and employee at EA Games, currently working on Battlefield 3. Give me the rundown. What's going on in Battlefield 3? What did you bring here today?
We're showing Operation Metro on the PC multiplayer for the very first time out here in New York. Pretty excited about it. And Battlefield's really just this great all-out war experience. You've obviously played Battlefield before, so you get that. But what makes Battlefield 3 special right now is Frostbite 2. And this is technology that powers the entire game. You got all kinds of great things here, like really fluid animation systems, incredible destruction, obviously a hallmark of the franchise. Everyone loves it. Big vehicle warfare, big scale, but also tight urban maps, which is what you played today, bringing it in from those huge ones, also really tight focus ones, a cool rendering system, and also incredible audio. So package all up in this pretty Frostbite 2 engine, we've got the all-out war experience that no one else can deliver.
Well, I am a big fan of Battlefield 2. I certainly had my experiences in Battlefield Bad Company 2. I want to know, what did you look at when you looked at the games you've made before for the Battlefield franchise? What did you decide to tweak, and how did you decide to tweak those particular things?
There's a lot of different stuff we've done, but really what we did is Battlefield 3 is the spiritual successor to Battlefield 2, and that was first and foremost important for us. So things like prone are back in it, jets are back in it, elements that made Battlefield 2 so iconic as a multiplayer experience. It also gives us the option to put in a whole new single player, which is great, but obviously today focusing on the multiplayer, and we've tweaked the classes, we've changed a little bit of the vehicle setups, we've now added these things called stances to vehicles where you're able to fire basically one weapon at a time, changing the type of weapon as you go through, so not really spamming all weapons out at once.
It's exciting, big changes to vehicles, and like you said, big changes to classes now. I noticed we're down to 4 classes. Can you give me a rundown on what those are and sort of what each class does?
Sure. So the Assault class is now our combat medic. These guys are always on the front lines. We've seen from all of our telemetry and data where players are playing out there, they're getting killed all the time out there on the front. So now we're giving the guys on the front lines the ability to bring their buddies back and dish out those medic kits. But you're not only able to do that, you have Engineer, of course, Mr. Vehicle, whether you want to take one out or help repair your friendly ones, send them back into battle. You have a support class now who's a big guy, big gun, lots of bullets. He's got a suppressive mechanic, so you are able to mount a bipod on pretty much anything that's a hard surface, like if you're going prone, you're against a wall, a car, whatever, and you'll get a great boost to your accuracy and range, a little bit of limit to your angle of attack there, but it's a very cool new mechanic that kind of makes you almost a mobile turret. You can bounce from area to area. And then, of course, either fear or love the recon sniper, depending on who you are. But we've also balanced that class because with prone comes a little bit lower target to hit, so we've added some weapon glint if you're being targeted by that sniper, and there's a little bit more gun sway to kind of even out the balance. So it's always been about balance, mixing it in with the vehicles, the whole nine, and that's what makes Battlefield so much fun.
Well, your engineer makes sense to me, your sniper makes sense to me, and your ammo guy makes sense to me, but how did you come to combine the medic and the assault? I'm a medic player. I like staying in the back lines. Yep. I like having my front line do the dirty work, and maybe running up and healing them every once in a while, but mostly just farming kills in the back. So okay. How can I play the medic the way I want to play it in your game?
It's easy. One of the great things about it in Battlefield, all Battlefields, we give you so many tools, and that's never more true in Battlefield 3. It's the biggest and best Battlefield game we've ever made. So you're able to, for Assault, perfect scenario, because I play that way too. I played a lot of Medic in BC too, and I like playing up close and personal, so I'll take a gun with tons of ammo, not a big scope on it, things like that, and just get up there, maybe extra grenades, throw them all over the place. Now I'm able to play in the front line like that and deal a lot of damage, but also bring my buddies back. For you want to stay out there with probably the longest range scope you can have, maybe some hollow point ammo or different things like that. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do in the game to modify the way that you play it. So it just depends on the type of character that you want to play, and then how you actually want to mesh that up with either your squad, your team, or on your own.
Well, you're talking about modifying weapons and classes here. How is this system going to work? Is it going to be a leveling system or an accumulation of points that maybe you get to spend on weapons and upgrades?
Yeah, it's a persistent system that we've had in the previous Battlefields. The biggest thing right now is that you will be playing as a class, so if you're playing as Assault, you will rank up your Assault elements and your Assault character. There are things that will be unlocked across all the different ones, but it primarily focuses on the different character class that you play on as you go through, and you'll be able to check things out on Battlelog, our new system, which basically aggregates everything together, so you can check and see how your buddies are doing, where they're ranking up, what they're going after. You can mess around with your classes online, you can set up matches, either private or friendly, etc. It does a whole bunch of stuff all in one for you.
Well, it sounds like you guys are all set up to handle a really enthusiastic community, and there's There's no more enthusiastic community I know than the competitive gaming community.
Right.
So you mentioned you're a competitive gamer yourself. I want to know, how is Battlefield going to handle itself on the competitive scene, and what is a competitive Battlefield team going to look like?
I think there's a lot of shapes and sizes of that competitive team, which is great. Again, we open these big tools for everyone to use, and a lot of clans, as you very well know, are massive. There's sometimes hundreds of people in there, maybe even 1,000, and offering big matches like a 64-player conquest match with all, I mean, that is the pinnacle of all-out warfare. 64 people on a map. There's jets, there's tanks, there's destruction everywhere. There's often RPGs whizzing overhead randomly because they missed something else. I mean, it's this all-out warfare that you can't get anywhere else. If you're used to playing in like a tighter environment with less people, 4 people or 8 people, whatever it may be, we have team deathmatch in there, so very common mode for most people. They'll recognize that right off the bat. There's other modes that we have in there with squad deathmatch and squad rush, things like that. So it's just there's a lot in there depending on what you either like or what you want to get competitive in.
So in my mind, I'm looking at your classes here. You've got the medic, you got the assault. Make it maybe a 4 or 5 man team, and you have MCOM stations. You have what are the different game types that we're going to be able to play? You mentioned deathmatch is back. These MCOM stations figure in somewhere. Let me have it.
Rush mode is our attack and defend mode. We started in the Bad Company series. It's really gotten really popular with the way that people play it, and that is where you find the MCOM stations. So attack and defend. There's objective points. Pretty straightforward. Attackers go and get them. Defenders come and try and take down the enemies. And every time the attackers take another station, they get reinforcements to their tickets. So if the defenders kill them enough times, game over, they win. If attackers take all the stations throughout the whole map, they win.
Well, I think if you're playing Battlefield 3, it's a win in general.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much, FT Dubs. It was a great second, third, fourth interview. You've been extremely patient, and I'll be very patient waiting for Battlefield 3. When's that going to come out, and where can I keep up with it?
So we're out October 25th, all 3 major platforms. So PC for you hardcore crazy competitives out there, Xbox and PlayStation for MLG fans that still want to rage it out there on the sticks too.
All right, well, thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to it.
All right, thanks.